You see an old video of a mall. The colors are flat. The camera shakes. Somewhere, a pop song leaks from the ceiling. And somehow, it feels warmer than your life right now. You pause. You watch the clip again. You do not know anyone in it. You may not have even been alive when it was filmed. But part of you still thinks that is what you miss. That should not make sense. But the real answer is stranger. You are not missing that year. You are missing the shape that year seems to have. A shape with edges. A world with fewer tabs open. Fewer versions of yourself to perform. Fewer tiny decisions asking who you are. That is why a decade you never lived can feel like home. It is not because the past was simple. The past was never simple. It is because culture has a strange power. It can turn a messy time into a small, glowing room. And when the present feels too loud, your mind wants to step inside. This is older than the internet. People have always built little rooms out of memory. A family tells the same story every holiday. A country repeats the same legend every year. A song comes back, and suddenly an entire decade feels like a place. Memory does not behave like a video file. It behaves more like a drawing. Every time you remember something, your brain redraws it. Daniel Shatter, a psychologist who studied memory, described this as the constructive nature of remembering. That means your mind does not simply open a folder and replay the past. It rebuilds the past from pieces. A color, a sound, a feeling, a need. Then it fills in the missing parts. This is why old footage can feel more complete than your real life. The clip has already removed the boring parts. No beats, no traffic, no awkward silence, no fear that everyone else is moving faster than you. Just a hallway, a food court, a pair of sneakers, a song you almost recognize. The past becomes clean because the camera left most of it out, and your brain does the rest. It adds warmth. It adds safety. It adds a story. That story says, life had a center then. People knew where to go. Culture moved slower. Everyone was looking at the same things. Maybe even everyone belonged. But that is not really a memory. It is a wish. The sociologist Fred Davis wrote about nostalgia as a way people protect identity during change. When life shifts too quickly, nostalgia gives you a bridge. It says, here's a version of the world where you can still recognize yourself. That is why nostalgia often appears during unstable times. When the future feels blurry, the past starts looking unusually sharp. Your mind is not only asking what happened back then, it is asking what kind of person you might have been there. Calmer, cooler, less watched, less measured, less spread across 100 screens. This is where culture makes the feeling stronger. Because you're not only seeing old footage, you're seeing a selected past. You see the best outfit, the best commercial, the best song, the most beautiful car in the parking lot. You do not see the loneliness of that person sitting one table away. You do not see the kid who wanted to leave. You do not see the worker cleaning the same floor at midnight. Every era has boredom. Every era has pain. Every era has people who thought the best time was somewhere else. But nostalgia edits. It trims the rough edges. Then culture frames the result. Suddenly the old mall is not just a mall. It is childhood without the hard parts. The old internet is not just slow pages and broken links. It is a world before everything became optimized. A film camera is not just a camera. It is proof that moments used to wait for you. A vinyl record is not just music. It is a ritual with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Even a paper ticket can feel powerful. Not because paper was magic, because it belonged to one event, one place, one night. It did not follow you afterward. It did not ask you to become a brand. That is the secret. You're not always longing for objects. You're longing for rituals. You're longing for culture that tells you when something starts, when something ends, when you are off, when you are home. Modern life does not always give you those edges. The day leaks into the night. Work leaks into the phone. Friendship leaks into likes. Rest leaks into scrolling. Even your personality can feel like a feed you have to maintain. So when you see an older world, your nervous system notices the borders. A store closes. A TV show airs once. A phone stays on the wall. A photo waits to be developed. These limits look annoying in real life. But from far away, they look peaceful. They look like permission. Permission to be one person at a time. Researchers Konstantin Sedekaides and Tim Wildschut have shown that nostalgia can make people feel more socially connected and give life more meaning. That is important. Nostalgia is not just sadness. It can be a tool your mind uses when you feel disconnected. It brings you an image of belonging, even if the belonging is partly imagined. That is why a culture you never lived inside can still pull on you. You're not claiming it as fact. You are using it as emotional shelter. The trouble starts when the shelter becomes a trap. Because the past can never answer you. It can only glow. It cannot hold your real body. It cannot make your rent cheaper. It cannot make your friendships deeper. It cannot give you back attention that the present keeps taking away. It can only point. And what it points to matters. Eric Hobsbawm and Terence Ranger wrote about invented traditions. They showed how societies often create rituals that feel ancient, even when they are much newer than people think. This does not mean the rituals are worthless. It means culture is always building a usable past. A past that helps people feel grounded. A past that gives a group a story. Your personal nostalgia works the same way. It builds a usable past for one person. It takes old colors, old sounds, and old symbols. Then it arranges them into a place where your tired self can rest. The algorithm learned this very quickly. It learned that you pause on old footage. It learned that you like washed out colors. It learned that a blurry camcorder date in the corner can hold your attention longer than a perfect new image. So it keeps handing you the key. Old commercials, old bedrooms, old amusement parks, old computer sounds, old street interviews, old school supplies, old fast food signs. Again and again, it opens the same little room. And each time, the room feels more real. Not because it is accurate, because it is repeated. Repetition turns a vibe into a place. A place turns into a story. A story turns into a feeling of home. This is why nostalgia can become so powerful online. You're not only remembering, you're being trained to miss. The feed does not show you the whole past. It shows you the most clickable version of longing. It removes context. It removes contradiction. It removes the ordinary afternoon after the song ended. Then it asks you to feel something. And you do. Of course you do. Because the feeling is real, even if the image is incomplete. The longing is real. The ache is real. The need underneath it is real. The mistake is thinking the old image itself can satisfy the need. It cannot, but it can reveal the need. So the next time an old clip catches you, ask a quieter question. Not, was life better then? Ask, what is this image promising me? Is it promising slowness? Is it promising belonging? Is it promising a world where fewer people can watch you fail? Is it promising a clear ending to the day? Once you name the promise, you can stop chasing the decade. You can start building the thing. If you miss slowness, make one part of your day slower on purpose. If you miss ritual, give an ordinary action a beginning and an end. Make tea without another tab open. Walk without turning the walk into content. Play one album without checking what comes next. Call someone without also half reading the room. If you miss belonging, do not only collect symbols of a culture. Create a small, repeated place with another person. Same diner. Same group chat. Same Friday walk. Same stupid joke that comes back every month. That is how culture becomes real. Not through perfect aesthetics. Through repeated care. Svetlana Boym wrote about two kinds of nostalgia. One tries to rebuild the lost home exactly. The other understands the ache and keeps asking questions. The second kind is more honest. It lets the past glow without surrendering your life to it. It lets you say, this image touched something in me. And it lets you turn back toward now. Because the world you want may not be behind you. It may be hidden under the noise of the world you already have. The old mall is not coming back. The old internet is not coming back. The childhood bedroom is not coming back exactly as it was. But the feeling underneath them is not gone. You can still make rooms with edges. You can still make rituals that slow time down. You can still choose one real conversation over 10 tiny signals. You can still turn the phone face down and let the room become a room again. That is the strange mercy of nostalgia. It begins by lying a little. It tells you the past was whole. Then, if you listen carefully, it reveals what feels broken in the present. And once you see that the past does not have to be a prison, it can become a map. Not a map back, a map inward, toward the pace you need, toward the people you miss, toward the rituals you forgot you were allowed to make. So the next time you see an old video of a mall, pause if you want. Let it glow for a moment. Let the colors be flat. Let the camera shake. Let the song leak from the ceiling. Then ask what part of you is reaching for it. Because you're not homesick for a year. You are homesick for a shape of life. And shapes can be built again.